Hi dear friends, welcome back to Akshadari. I'm Deviraj. Today is 26th June, almost end of the month we are. So I hope you guys are preparing and working towards to improve your communication in English. So I hope you guys follow the same tips which I have given in the previous video. So let's start the newspaper reading. So before going to start the newspaper reading, I would request you guys to please subscribe the channel, like and comment. If you like the video, please subscribe and share with your friends so that I can bring very informative videos in the upcoming days. So especially related to education, healthcare and personal interviews. So let's start the newspaper reading. Yes, let's start the newspaper reading. What's in the front page of the Hindu paper? So, center is sabotaging Annabhagya scheme. Retail giant helps farmers access markets. Wagner cheap to move to Belarus in New Deal. This is not the time to point fingers. The inter-community dueling must stop. Vikram to return from for moon mission. Trainer aircraft makes emergency landing on agricultural land. Internship rule affects foreign medical graduates. After meeting Shah, Biran says will reach out to cookies. A union minister instructs Manipur chief minister to crack down on violence irrespective of the community involved. Asks to arrange for a talk with the women's group Meira Paivis. Modi is seeing deal on strategic partnership. Auto drivers say free bus ride for women has hit their business. Ridership in RTC buses across the state has added nearly 20 lakh passengers per day, a major chunk of it in Bangalore. Ever since the launch of the Shakti scheme on June 11, auto drivers say bookings from ride hailing have calmed. Citizen groups experts seek more bus lanes. REC Limited to provide 3,045 crore for Nama Metro for its second. KSRTC issues clarification on misleading accident video. Indiranagar residents complain of water contamination. Fabricator booked for marrying girl 2 months before she turned 18. The girl was admitted to Vani Vilas Hospital for delivery and the doctor found her age to be 18 years and 7 months. Man posing as police officer cheats a student of 1.3 lakh. Stop pedestrian, a pedestrian knocked down by car. Man who posted video of assault held. Education Plus scholarship. The Rhodes scholarship for India. SC India Tech scholarship program. Discover your calling. Uncertain about your career options. Low on self confidence. This call may help you. Anganwadi workers on the ground say old outdated phones entering service, demand new ones. Anganwadi workers' move will impact the ongoing joint survey of health and nutrition and data collection for the Gruha Lakshmi scheme. Trainer aircraft makes emergency landing on agricultural land. International workshop on technology for fees. A kg of tomato to likely cost over 100 soon. Gang of food stabs youth to death. Registration of U Grahal Jyoti scheme costs 51 lakh. Two youths killed in accident on Bengaluru Mysore Expressway. Passengers missed train as railway authorities forget to make announcements. Make it immersive and interactive. The use of immersive technology in education can open up new possibilities and opportunities for students with learning disabilities. Siddaramaya calls for freedom struggle like movement to house to BJP. That party has always opposed the constitution and now minorities, farmers and the poor are living in an atmosphere of fear, she says. Telangana MLA escapes Hanat has his vehicle, it's free. It's free. I will take responsibility for pool debate debacle Bumma. Congress has lost popularity within a month of forming government. XU. 3-day training for MLAs from today. Two AIADMK era bills among 13 pending in Raj Bhavan. And before Governor R.N. Ravi had an interview to an English daily, said that there is no bill pending before the Raj Bhavan or the Governor. Center are sabotaging Karnataka's put scheme Congress. Sudhakaran goes back on offer to quit as KPCC chief. Kerala to campaign for notifying revised eco-sensitive zones of protected areas. Forgery case ex-SFI leader fails to turn up for questioning. Two ancient Jain pillars attached to village tanks wall found near Hyderabad. Infosys may take time to open campus in Vizag. Manipur, this is not a time for finger pointing. So let's go to the editorial page. Tenets of unity, opposition parties have little more than rivalry with BJP in common. Let's make it visible and read the editorial page. Yes. Manipur, this is not a time for finger pointing. Manipur has some unfolding and extended tragedy in which two of the state's major communities, the Kukis and Madhis, have been on a bloody communal clash since May 3rd. Is proving how utterly meaningless all the contests to score debating points on the media are. Equally, it shows how empty all political posturing and wants can be in matters of resolving deadly conflicts. After nearly 2 months, the state remains stands with over 120 lives lost. While this cannot be reversed, there are also another estimated 45,000 displaced people in several temporary community run relief camps on both sides of the divide. For the sake, first and foremost, all posturing must end so that all stakeholders in this conflict theater, not just the cookies and Maidis, can sit down together to evolve a way round with consensus, including structural administrative changes agreeable to all and for the benefit of all. The interlink in mutual welfare. The emphasis on consensus is important. The truth is what one community does impact others communities even if they live separately. The integral geography of fields and valleys and rivers and lakes predestines this, and any move to disrupt this integrity can be an upfront on the sense of security of another. Robert D. Kaplan in Revenge of Geography, what the map tells us about coming conflicts and the battle against fate and before him. Halford J. Mackinder in the Geographical Pivot of History have shown us how some of the deadliest conflicts in the world were always implicit in shared geographical destinies. We are seeing this is in Russia's response to the North Atlantic Treaty Organization's overtures in Ukraine, and indeed in India's own response to the Chinese incursion in the Bhutanese territory of Doklam in 2017. The current stand-up in Manipur should have already shown how much the hills and valley depend on each other for their mutual welfare. In this relationship, it is also to be expected that the valley would feel a little more vulnerable. Though this is also where topographical and geographical advantages resulted in state formation first. James C. Scott proposed this friction between paddy states and non-state bearing populations living in surrounding mountains in the heart of not being governed, an anarchist history of upland Southeast Asia. The imagination of these valleys, therefore, have always included a sense of control of the surrounding hills where their mountain passes are. The rivers originate the Maidis near Paro Nai concern about Manipur's territorial integrity must be understood in this light. Independent India choosing to inherit a skewed land law and to introduced by the British has ensured that they are today confined in the small Impal Valley. The British had their compulsions when they set foot in the northeast in 1826. They had also to deal with the Scots non-state bearing populations of hunter-gatherers whose community applications seldom extended by hand their villages. The British had either to subjugate each of them and bring them under their direct rule or else leave them alone under their remote gauge. They chose the latter and found it more inconvenient to associate with the centralized bureaucracies of paddy states there. Hence, after annexing Assam, they promulgated the Bengal Eastern Frontier Regulation of 1873 to draw an inner line along the foot of the hills that surrounded the floodplains of Assam. Bodhisattva Kar in an essay when was the post-colonial history of policing impossible lines characterizes this as giving a territorial prime to capital, separating the modern from a primitive with primitive without actually drawing an inner line. This governance mechanism was also introduced in Manipur after 1891 when Manipur became a British protectorate state. Knowledge might is pain. Many now talk of an ethnic cleansing happening in Manipur, and this may actually become so if nothing is done to ensure that displaced can return home safely. What most means, however, is a silent and seemingly non-aggressive ethnic cleansing of Maitis from Manipur's heel in the decades since India's independence. The pain of those posed to plea in the wake of the present crisis is heart-wrenching. But it is time to also acknowledge the accumulated pain and humiliation of confinement Maitis would have had to bear, which is not trivial. Hence, their demand for scheduled tribe status is also a desperate cry against this sense of besiegement. This should also explain, though not justify, the shockingly violent response of Maidis to the carnage on the afternoon of May 3rd in the Tarbanga area of Churachandpur district. In this incident, Maidis villages was seen on the internet even as they were fleeing arson attacks by cookie mobs, desperately appealing for help. When it became evident the government was not doing anything to control the violence, a dog, primordial and immoral energy within the largest Maidis society began churning not just in response to the immediate affront but also fired by the subterranean sense, reasonable or not, of a civilizational and even existential threat. The violence that followed is unimaginably wild and indiscriminate. Ambulances, schools, ministerial bungalows, and residences, men, women, and children all became targets. Some onlookers think that two organizations, Arambai Tengal and Mighty Louis Lipan are the creators of this mayhem. This is simplistic. These organizations, which few would have heard of before this crisis, may have been the first responders to the Tarpan mayhem and may still be a part of the problem, but are hardly the problems in its entirety. In Preidian terms, what is being witnessed in this mighty society now is the primordial male violent infantile id shattering the ceiling of civilizational control of the superego. While the rational ego is made powerless and irrelevant in this surge of dark energy, it is amazing how an entire community can mobilize itself on such a large scale. And it is frightening to witness the readiness to kill or die of ordinary men and women. This must be what made W.B. Yeats exclaim, "A terrible beauty is born, though there is lately to distinguish this beauty from the beast." For the cookies, the cookies too have been made to suffer long from unjust humiliations and a sense of persecution by the insensitive manner in which the government pushed policies such as drives against poppy plantation, illegal migration, and encroachment into reserved forests. The hurt this would have caused should explain why only cookies and not Nagas reacted in extreme violence and made sword, though both were in the same rally organized to protest the proposal to include Maithis in the ST list. However, this is not the time for who started it or who did more damage. Finger pointing. The return of normalcy must be the priority, and this initiative should begin from the leadership at the very top. Even if they have schools left to be settled, they must end the dueling for now. Along with this, to dispel all doubt of involvement of Kuki militants under the suspension of operation agreement in this conflict. The Assam rivals must provide a conclusive evidence of all cadres being back in their designated camps. Once this is done, it should be easier to have all weapons looted from police stations in the valley areas either returned or recovered. And is the shining example of Mahatma Gandhi's courage in calling off the non-cooperation movement on February 12, 1922, after the violent of Chauri Chaura incident is there to emulate. This is about the cookies, Manipur cookies, violence. Let's go to the next page. Chauri Chora, it was held in 1922. This next outreach to diaspora and statesmanship. In a speech while addressing a Tamil diaspora in Tokyo in the course of his overseas tour in May 2022, to Singapore and Japan to attract investments to the state. The Tamil Nadu Chief Minister M.K. Stalin had said that the government of Tamil Nadu would protect the Tamil diaspora that has spread far and wide in search of education, business, and employment. He added that protecting the Tamil language meant protecting the Tamil community. He held forth the promise that his government and the ruling Dravida Munnetra Kazhagam would extend all support to the Tamil community. Diaspora facts. Among the Indian diaspora, Tamil constitute a substantial number. They form the overwhelming majority of the Indian population in Malaysia, Singapore, and Sri Lanka, are in good numbers in Myanmar, Mauritius, South Africa, the Seychelles, the Reunion Islands, Fiji, Trinidad, and Tobago, Guyana, Suriname, Australia, New Zealand, the Gulf countries, the United States and Canada, Britain, and the European countries. These dynamic groups have three identities. First, the Tamil identity. Second, the Indian identity. The third, the identity of the countries in which they have settled. Equally interesting is the phenomenon of the diaspora. From Fiji, Malaysia, and Singapore, the Indian diaspora is migrating to greener forces such as Australia, Canada, and the US. Bharati Mukherjee, the well-known diasporic writer, was often saying, "I am a woman with a series of countries. It is necessary for me to put down roots wherever I land and where I choose to stay." I would be simplistic and naive to assume that the hopes that they entertain and the problems that they face are identical. It is closely related to the nature of their migration, their numerical numbers, their educational and professional attainments, their economic clout, and above all, the majority minority syndrome in the host countries. The Tamil diaspora has excelled in politics, economics, literature, the fine arts, sports, and science. A few names that shine include Dr. Chandrasekhar, Manti Naikar, Sambadan, Janaki Teva, T.S. Maniyam, Soumya Murthy, Thwandambam, Saranathan, Muthaya Muralidharan, Nagamattu, Indira Nooyi, Sundar Pichai, Raghuram Rajan, and Kamala Harris. Host country policies. Their impact. Mr. Stalin's speech is a reminder of two statements that made by Jawaharlal Nehru is in Malaya in March 1946. When India becomes free, her hands will be long and powerful to protect each and every one of her children abroad. And Indians abroad must remain united and guard their rights and uphold their heads proudly as Indians, children of a country with a great past and greater future. But Nehru's hopes were soon shattered. The first legislative enactment of Ceylon soon after independence was to render the Indian Tamils who were taken to Ceylon under the protective umbrella of the British government to provide labor in the tea plantations. Nehru's principal stand was that all those who considered Ceylon to be their home and have stayed there for long should be conferred citizenship. Ceylon argued that it was its sovereign right to introduce citizenship regulations. The Burmese government never granted citizenship to thousands of Indian Tamils and expelled them. On the eve of their departure, the Burmese currency was demonetized. The women could not even bring their Mangalya Sutra with them. As far as neighboring countries are concerned, bilateral relations have two dimensions. The first is to improve relations with the governments, politically, economically, and culturally. The second is to protect and boost the interests of Indian minority groups. An overview of India's policy towards Sri Lanka shows that to improve political relations. New Delhi, on some occasions, was willing to sacrifice the interests of the Indian diaspora. The Srimavu Sastri fact of October 1964 is an example of betrayal. New Delhi adopted the policy of give and take and converted the Indian Tamil community into merchandise to be divided between the two countries. It must be highlighted that all important leaders of the Madras presidency, Rajagopalachari, Kamraj Najar, C.N. Annadurai, R. Ramamurthy, and Krishna Menon were opposed for the agreement. Mr. Stalin has highlighted the necessity to protect and promote the Tamil language, but the sad fact remains is that in many countries, the Tamil community has forgotten the Tamil language, one of the key elements of Tamil culture. Federal camaraderie, federal camaraderie is essential. The policy towards the Indian diaspora comes under the exclusive jurisdiction of the central government. Even then, the state governments can influence policies by building public opinion. What is essential in the present context is camaraderie and friendship between the Narendra Modi and the DMK government. The Citizenship Amendment Act CAA could have used the term prosecuted minorities. The CAA also does not include Sri Lanka, where ethnic patricide has compelled many Tamils to come to Tamil Nadu as refugees. New Delhi terms Sri Lanka Tamil refugees as illegal immigrants and argues that they must go back to Sri Lanka. Instead of trying to have cordial relations with the central government, a policy of confrontation by Tamil Nadu would be self-defeating. What the refugees wants is Indian citizenship. All of them fulfill the residential qualifications laid down in the Indian Citizenship Act. Indian Tamil refugees who number 29,500 are stateless. What is more, the Sri Lanka Tamil refugees are willing to surrender their Sri Lankan citizenship to get Indian citizenship. The need of the hour is for the state and the central government to come together and arrive at an amicable solution. This calls for statesmanship, not political opportunism. It's kind of difficult. The protect in protecting the interest of the Indian diaspora, state governments need to work with the central government. This is about the Indian outreach to diaspora and statesmanship. The United States of India is an assistant professor at the Nalsar Institute of Allah. The divided heads of JACS, joint action committees, or regrouping and could affect the prospects of BRS. Uneven progress, stock inter-district disparities in Tamil Nadu. Pricing terms of MQ-9B drone deal with the US had to be finalized, says government. Ministry says it will compare the acquisition cost with the best price offered to other countries by General Atomic. Arts speculative reports on social media were aimed at derailing the process, while Manipur is burning CPM silent, shy, ineffective. Manipur BCM Beren says will reach out to cookies. Pak army deploying new Chinese cannon on LOC, officials. Modi government is strangulating GNI, in the name of digitization, says Congress. Two killed in heavy rain, flash floods in Himachal Pradesh. Modi CC Inc. deal on strategic partnership. Goods train overshoots a signal, hits a maintenance train and delayed in Bengal. Foreign medical graduates seek help. Vande Bharat trying to be introduced from Shahranpur to Prayagraj, Sri Vaishnav. Obama's remark about minority rights in India surprising, says Minister. Nirmala Sitharaman says six Muslim majority countries had faced US bombing during his tenure as US President, alleges that Congress is raising non-issues trying to vitiate countries' atmosphere. Organized campaigns are being run at the behest of the opposition to level basis allegations. Obama's remarks about minority rights in India surprising, says Minister. Nirmala Sitharaman says six Muslim majority countries had faced US bombing during his tenure as US President, alleges that Congress is raising non-issues, trying to vitiate countries' atmosphere. Organized campaigns are being run at the behest of the opposition to level baseless allegations and the treatment meted out to minorities. Emergency aid dog unforgettable feud in India's history. ED raids Lakshadweep MP Faisal home and office. Bengal force. Congress demands deployment of more central forces. CSCC meets governor. Meghalaya Tribal Council to oppose uniform civil code says it will affect traditions. No patriotic Muslim can have regard for Aurangzeb Fadnavis. Retail giant helps link 8 lakh producers to markets from groups skeptical. Two citizens and senior citizens dead as monsoon batters Mumbai. Vikram Pragyam to return for another tryst with the moon. One dead, 35 injured after ammonia leak in Bihar dairy. Ajwar extol Lord Rama. Auntie grabbed body in a Pashupati temple to probe a missing gold. Conservatives, the New Democracy Party, projected to win Greek polls. 3 dead, 5 injured in early morning shootings in Missouri. Court acquits former Pakistan PM Sharif in 37 years old bribe case. Wagner chief to move to Belarus in a deal brokered by Lukashenko. Fighters of the Wagner Group returned to their bases in return for guarantees for their safety, and leader Evgeny Prigozhin. Mercenaries withdrew from Rostov in a army of armored vehicles to the sound of cheers from local residents. Hollywood producer testifies in Netanyahu corruption trial. Wagner Group mutiny exposes chinks in Putin's armored regime. Understanding interest rate risk. When interest rates go up, bond prices come down, and vice versa. This is interest rate risk, and is applicable to all investments that give us returns in the form of interest, such as FD bonds. A healthy return to our roots. Diksha climbs the Sea Jack Ladies Open title. Australia closes in on Ashes victory with England 11-16 by 5, chasing Suits to 68. More aggression, positive mind is the way forward, says Anderson, pointing advice to countrymen Lubus change Chagne hand head. Dvi Wadoyo and Chai climb singles title at the IP Open. Suleiman and Otis, the diaspora football, determined to prop up a struggling Pakistan. Diksha climbs the CJ Ladies Open title. It is the 22-year-old Southpaw's second triumph on the European Tour after the maiden success in 2019. She has 9 top 10 finishes with 4 of them coming this season. Warriors beat Masters to go to the top. Grandmasters lose. Will fight against WFI chief in court and not on the road, says Leicesters. Women's boxing head coach Burt withdraws from the Halite camp. Sutirtha and Aika fair clinches maiden doubles title. Alcaraz reigns at Queens, returns to world number 1. Mendiratha Mairaj miss bus towards Asian Games. Master Ironman emerges champ in PH1. Bagnaia wins a Dutch MotoGP, extends championship D-lead. Sachin dominates in a sprint rally series. Messi recalls his roller coaster ride with PSG. Naughty Chama backs court championship stakes. Arteta wants stronger Arsenal squad to challenge Man City. Pujara, the quintessential test bat with a steely resolve and huge appetite for runs, will be missed. Maxwell Trevor on a mission to produce champions in cycling. Did climate change really make UP's deadly heat wave twice as likely? A deadly heat wave over Uttar Pradesh recently claimed as many as 100 lives. There were subsequently several reports saying that, according to a model called the Climate Shift Index, developed by a reputable US non-profit called the Climate Central, this heat wave was made twice likely by climate change. We must accept that there is really no way to scientifically ensure the accuracy of such contributions. Radio telescope probing space. Lack of scientifically designed garbage transfer stations puts workers and residents in peril. Several transport stations see waste left behind for days, resulting in drought. Stench and rodent menace from waste leachate as the corporation remains slow in its action. In the Udainakundi ward, the transfer of waste happens on the side of Alpenico Road. The transfer station near the cantonment railway station. What does information really mean? Janaki Srinivasan's new book talks about an information focused on social change and development in India. Menstrual health and hygiene campaign launched. Filter Coffee is about the need for validation on social media. The single, which dropped on all major platforms last week, reflects the Bangalore-based singer Aditi Ramesh's ad space. A bridge between traditional and digital storytelling, revealing realities. God's beliefs about the marginalized and exposes their vulnerabilities and their resilience. And the India-US deal for 31st MQ-9B drones. So what are the capabilities of the soon-to-be procured MQ-9B high-altitude, long-endurance unmanned aerial vehicles? What is the process to be followed for timely delivery? The years after which monsoon hit Delhi and Mumbai altogether. People affected by the flood in Assam as per the ISDMA. The fatalities caused by Russian airstrikes in rebel-held Syria. Online education platform users face issues in last 2 years. Budget approved by Pakistan Parliament for financial 2024. The India-US deal for 31 MQ-9B drones. What are the capabilities of the soon-to-be procured MQ-9B high-altitude, long-endurance unmanned aerial vehicles? What is the process to be followed by for timely delivery? Pulafrins. The Titan tragedy. How did the Titanic 2 submersible operate? What happened to the submersible? Who were the crew members of the Patel expedition? What should people know about the design of the Titan submersible? How was it maintained? Did it follow the UNESCO guidelines for the preservation of underwater World Heritage sites? This is about the history, what was happened in the past decades ago, centuries ago. Yes, I hope you guys enjoy the newspaper reading. So, see you in the upcoming videos, and I hope you are getting preparing for the communication to improve our communication. So, please subscribe the channel, like, and comment. So, see you in the upcoming videos. Have a great day. Bye bye. Take care.